So good morning, guys. My coffee hasn't quite kicked in yet, but I want to tell you guys a little story before we jump into today's video. We are live today here from Bridgehampton, New York. It's just a city near Sag Harbor, or in Sag Harbor, I'm not sure exactly. And we are at the Bridge, an incredible car show. We're talking hundreds of special cars. There's no judging, it's really about fun. Now, 6 years ago, I met a young guy through the forums and online, and his name was Stephen Duncan Peters. And now Stephen actually works with Curated and is a huge part of Curated. But at that time, I was interested in AMGs and AMG Hammers, and I was sort of trying to do research, and there really was nothing online. There was no documents, there was just some old forum sites. So I started talking to this guy, and I had no clue how old he was. Now, today, Stephen's still in his 20s. I'm not going to tell his real age, but he's a very young guy, and he impressed me with his knowledge. He had an encyclopedia knowledge for these cars. We're going to call him, starting today, the AMG Genius, because he really just has that much passion and knowledge for these cars. And what he's done is sort of brought that passion into my life, and now today, Curated buys and sells a lot of pre-merger AMGs. And what's so exciting is sort of the culmination of all years of hard work, chasing cars and finding cars. Today here at the Bridge, we have 5 incredible special hammers behind us today. This is probably the largest gathering of hammers ever in the world, besides maybe at the factory or in Westmont when they were new. So let's show you guys Stephen's personal hammer, and let's show you guys our blue 6-liter wide body that we had the incredible opportunity of buying. We weren't able to show it to you in Monterey because it broke, but let's give you guys a tour. So what I think is the coolest part about the AMG Hammer is it really is the 80s version of the muscle car, the Hemi Cuda, all of these iconic muscle cars. I mean, this embodies that spirit, and that's really because these cars, when they first came out, they were on the cover of magazines, they were road and track supercar shootouts, and they were beating Lamborghini Countach's, Ferrari Testarossas, 200-mile-per-hour German sedans. And probably one of the most famous is a red sedan that Stephen actually discovered years ago. Now that red sedan, Albert will throw some photos up. It was a press car. It was used in a ton of magazines. What's most interesting is until recently, we didn't really know about the car behind us, and Stephen didn't really know this. Now, we had always known or heard rumors that there was 13 original cars built for the US. And essentially, I think we've talked about this before, but I'll give you guys a little bit of a nugget here. A Hammer is essentially a 5.4, 5.6, or 6-liter engine into the 124 chassis. It would have come as a coupe, as a sedan, or as a wagon. There's only one wagon. We'll show you guys that quickly. What's so special about this car is it was originally delivered to a MLB baseball player, for baseball fans, Rob Deere. And this car is believed to be probably the only 6.6-liter stroker hammer in the US, maybe the world. And very special car, red tan. You see the chrome monoblocks. And this is a complete time capsule. I think it has like 6,000 original miles. So if you are a real car nerd, I have to show you a few details that just make this car and a few of the cars here so special, is the details. Now, imagine 13, maybe 14 of these cars came to North America or were built in North America. So when you start talking about accessories and things like that, imagine how rare that stuff is. This is one of the original license plate frames and original dealer tag that was used in period. This stuff today is probably worth more than a small Kia. And then another sort of cool feature about this car, and again, memorabilia and things like that, Look at this. Original AMG keychain. This shouldn't be anywhere but a safe. So very cool, and that's what's so cool about, I would say, these cars today, is the owners are so passionate, and it's all about the details. Let's go take a look at the next two cars. One of the guys on the forums back in the day was Jonathan from Blue Ridge. He was one of the first guys to really appreciate and love these cars. We are standing next to his unicorn, a one-of-one wagon. Now, this was originally built for the North American market. It's the only Hammer wagon in the world. Incredible blue. I mean, this is such a famous car, such an iconic car. It was actually originally ordered by a gentleman that actually ordered 3, if I'm not mistaken, AMG Hammers new. I believe he had the wagon, he had a sedan, and he had a coupe. And Jonathan's really done an incredible job at preserving this car and preserving AMG Hammer history. Huge thanks to Jonathan. We've worked with him many, many times. He's helped Steven with his cars, and a guy that's just extremely passionate about these cars. And he brought another unicorn here. This is the only manual hammer in the world. This is a car, Albert can show you guys some details. This has the original buffalo leather, so it's a brown buffalo leather, full Recaros, manual transmission. It doesn't get much cooler than that. True unicorn. I've never seen this car in person. It was actually sold at an auction many years ago, and it needed a ton of work, and he's done an incredible job. So it's, again, we're standing between two Hammer icons and unicorns. And let's go take a look at the wide body. I have to tell you guys about this 6-liter wide body. I mean, this does not get cooler. Blue on blue, blue wheels. This was a car originally built in Japan, but really blessed by AMG Germany. There's full of records, the original manuals for the seats. There's even an original sort of like a love letter from AMG Germany to AMG Japan offering a warranty on this car when it was new. This car sort of, I don't know if you guys remember that crazy story. We were chasing another AMG Hammer that broke a world record at auction. Now, big thank you to the guys at MB Marketplace. I'll tell you guys this story very quick. Essentially, we had found a Hammer in New Mexico. It was basically a charcoal Hammer Coupe known as the cocaine hammer. It belonged to a drug dealer and then was seized by the feds. And that car essentially disappeared for 20-30 years. We had found it by accident on Instagram. Unfortunately, for us at the time, the owner was already talking to our friends at MB Marketplace. Now, we ended up saying, okay, we understand you're putting it at auction. We just really wanted to win the car. So we were bidding on the car. We ended up winning the auction. I think it was $661,000. It was a new world record for a Hammer. But unfortunately for us, but very fortunately for the seller, the auction site glitched in the last few minutes. We felt it was the best thing or the right thing to do for the seller and for the auction site was to go back to all the bidders and basically say, okay, listen, let's all now submit a sealed bid. I actually called the seller and I said, listen, I technically won the car at auction, but I understand, like, listen, if there's other people that want this car, you know, let's all submit a sealed bid. I actually thought I was still gonna win it. I was like, I'm gonna bid $700,000, I'll outbid everyone. We were outbid at $761,000. So we did not get the car. Congratulations to the seller. It sort of sucks. I'm not bitter about it because in that process, one of our really good clients and one of our very good friends, Matthew Ivanhoe, ended up discovering this car in Japan. We were able to buy it and we literally sold it within 1 week during Monterey Car Week. We had this car out at Monterey Car Week. We drove it around a little bit, and then unfortunately, I think the neutral safety switch broke, so we couldn't drive it anymore. But this is a true unicorn, an original wide body 6-liter Hammer Coupe. You're not going to see this again. It's going to be going to a very, very great home. But before that, we've had the honor of showing it here with all these incredible hammers. So stay tuned. Okay, this is pretty much the bee's knees. It checks every single box. Now, if you don't know about Miura SVs, there was 150 cars produced for the world. In my eyes, it's the most important Lamborghini ever made. It's wide, it's badass, it's rare, it's sick, and most Miura SVs left the factory in Rosso Miura, so the red color. Behind us is one of 7, which sort of one of 6, and we can get into that later, Arancio Miura SVs. This is a unicorn, as rare as it gets, and it literally just got to us. We bought it last week, we paid for it last week, we put the car on a plane, it landed Monday, and it got off the truck and literally went on another truck to make it here for the first time. This is the first time this car is on US soil. This is a 1972, it is a split sump example, so the engine and gearbox transmission fluid is separate. So it was an evolution of the SV essentially. And this car is absolutely beautiful. There's a few details that are wrong. The mirrors are incorrect. We obviously didn't have time to change the mirrors. The front shocks are incorrect. We should correct that. It's the touch low in the front if you look. And most SVs came with gold wheels and gold bottoms. I don't know if we're gonna go gold because it looks so good. I think it's beautiful to see the contrast, but there's something so cool and magical about seeing an SV in this color. In the sun, it looks so good, and it is truly a dream to drive. Our friends at Top Motors did the mechanical on this years ago. Gearbox is smooth. Last night when we pulled it out of here and I had the headlights on, I felt like I was on top of the world. Only a Miura SV can do that. I'm in love with this car. I've got to sell it to someone who's gonna let me use it because it's just so good. Anyways, let's now go look at some really incredible Diablos. All right, so I feel at home. I'm with all the Lamborghinis, Diablos from everywhere, and this is the first time we're publicly showing the Giallo Perlato. I think it's 900 mile, one owner, one of one color. They only ever made this color once for this car, and it's an honor to be sharing it with the world for the first time. You can see behind us the Tahiti Blue 25th anniversary that won Amelia, the Monaco Grand Prix Countach, and 2 other Countaches that we sold to incredible guys, Barry and Diego. The yellow Giallo Fly car, super rare. I think one of 4 or 5 that came to the US in Giallo Fly. And Barry's beautiful black Nero Tenebrae Ampana. And then what's super cool is next to us is another one of the Monterey edition Diablos. How cool is it to see 2 of the 20 cars? This car is Rosso Vic, a very cool color for Vic Colunion, the distributor at the time. It is just so cool to me. When you had these Concours historically, Lamborghinis were not included or they were put in the back. And to see all these Diablos and Countaches from all over represented here today is an honor And if you haven't seen the video on this car, click on the link right up there, and we'll tell you the whole story. This car is very special to us, and excited to share it with the world today. So what's so cool about the bridge is there's just so much style here and character. And the car behind us, that's actually artist Daniel Arsham. The car behind us is an incredible expression. It'll actually be unveiled here today, or it's already unveiled. If you don't know who Daniel Arsham is, definitely look him up. He's an incredible artist that builds these really unique relics. And this is his personal 356 Speedster that he's basically done with Porsche, in collaboration with Porsche. And then when you want to talk about patina, and you want to talk about
it makes 65 horsepower,
and you want to talk about sort of perfecting this look, this is so cool. And sometimes something like this is even more difficult than restoration itself. We got to take a look at this.
What's up, man?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Good to see you.
What's going on? Bro, this is so cool.